Thank you all for being here. I feel as a fitness instructor, I need to have everybody take a nice deep breath and relax their shoulders, because I know we're sitting here really tense and stressed, and Ben would be sitting next to me going, I don't like these. I don't like these. He didn't like this stuff, but we're doing it Ben's style, and I know he would be really pleased. The beverage cart should be coming down the aisles here pretty quick. But we lost our beloved Ben, a wonderful husband, father, son, brother, brother-in-law, nephew, grandson, uncle, cousin, and dear friend. And those are not just nouns to list. He was every one of those things to everyone. He was intentional in his love for his family and friends. But on Sunday, I need everyone to know, and will defend his honor the rest of my life. It was not our Ben that we know and love that we lost. Our Ben would never leave us, and he is never going to leave us. In the past few weeks, as most of you know, Ben was fighting COVID. It put him in the hospital for 5 days, and he was very sick. And we know people can get very sick with COVID. We never took it lightly. But he was battling a rare form of neuropsychiatric COVID. There's going to be more to it on that. This mama bear will be putting a lot of information out. He wasn't depressed. He wasn't isolated because of COVID. It took over his brain, and it was not our Ben. And I need people to know that he didn't leave us. That was not our Ben. To know Ben was to love him. He could captivate a room with his wit and charm. To really know and love Ben was to know at some point you were going to get the wrath. So, show of hands, who's gotten the wrath of Ben? Or maybe better and easier to count just who hasn't gotten the wrath of Ben. He had energy like no other. We all know he was the hardest worker around. Maybe a bit too much, but that is how we are as a family. We often joke that we scared people because they didn't know how we could do so many things and not lose our minds. But that was how we're wired, full speed or off. So often people would ask if I got mad that Ben was always at work and wasn't home as much. As much as we loved to have him home more, we would have to come to him usually. If he was working, he needed his people with him. So Jet would be in the buddy seat in the truck, in the combine, whatever. He had his people around him. But he loved to work, and that was his passion, and that's what made him happy. And we loved him for it, whether it was at turf team or the farm or coming up with some new crazy idea he thought he was going to do, and we would just shake our heads going, no, no more, no more. One of Ben's sayings always was, I'm equal opportunity. He expected and demanded the best out of everyone, no matter your age or gender. He carried on the Price Man legacy of know what I want before I want it. He was always 2 steps ahead and wanted everyone else in line the same. He moved fast like a bull in a china shop. If he was walking somewhere, you better get out of his way because he'd run you over. Not because he was trying to be rude, but that's just how he moved, focused and determined. When we would arrive at a destination together in the car, he would get out of the car and he would just take off. You know, you just knew that was what Ben did. So you better hightail it along. He wasn't going to sit and wait. He was on, moving on. Ben and I met in college at Mankato State in 1994. I was mesmerized by his gorgeous blue eyes the moment I saw him. We started dating, and at the time I was working at a golf course with the grounds crew. We were building part of the course, so it was a dirty job work with lots of work, laying sod, digging, tilling, all that good stuff. He said he was going to come and see me one day at work and hit some golf balls on the range. And of course I went into a panic. We just started dating. I'm dirty, I'm sweaty at work. This is not good. Obviously, this was very early in our meeting because I quickly learned that a woman doing manual labor meant I was pretty good in his eyes. A few months later, we visited Morris for the first time, and at the time they still had cows. So that is what we did. We fed cows, we mucked manure, and that pretty much sealed the deal for me. We were a feisty love. That isn't for everyone, but it was us. And we loved us. We didn't balance each other well. We were both passionate, strong-willed, and stubborn. We have been tested through some of life's greatest challenges, but we were strong together, and we were the best team. We've always said we knew, and we lived it. Life is tough, but we are tougher. That didn't mean we didn't deal with life or buried our emotions. We scare people with our emotional strength. I know it's not something we can explain to people, but our souls were aligned and strong in facing anything that came our way. Ben's children, Jet and Maya, were his world. Ben and Jet were snuggle buddies, and he gave his dad kisses on command, he called them. Jet would literally Ben could stand there and just lean down, and Jet would get up and give him a kiss. And then I would go and try to do the very same thing, and Jet would go, nah. He adored that boy and told him every day, how lucky he was to be his dad. He never would have changed that boy for anything. He called him Bear Bear, and he slept with us every night, and Ben was never, ever going to change that. We adopted Maya in 2007, and we were first handed her in a hotel lobby in Guatemala. They handed her to me, of course, but I needed to do some paperwork and other things, so I got and get her feeding schedule. So I handed her immediately to Ben, and the rest is history with these two best friends. Maya had only known Spanish people, the Spanish language, dark skin. She was only 6 months old. So we knew coming to us, speaking a different language, looking different, and being thrown into our arms in a new place, we would be up with some pretty tough transitions for several weeks, several months. We were ready for anything. But no, that's not what happened. Ben took Maya up to the room, and we laid on the bed, and we played, and all our pictures of that moment are Maya in his arms, smiling, and in her heart she knew that she was home. And Daddy will always have his arms around her. In the airport on the way home from Guatemala, I left for a few minutes to go into a shop and came back out, and they're sharing a mint chip ice cream cone. And I'm telling, she is going to town on this ice cream cone. Now, she's 6 months, so you're not supposed to have dairy as a 6-month-old because it can cause, GI issues or whatever. So I was not happy. I thought for sure we'd have a screaming baby on the plane with an upset tummy, and from then on, mint chip ice cream is their favorite. There is no greater daddy-daughter duo than these two and the time that they shared together. They had a lot of funny sayings. They annoyed me to no end with their silly antics. And Maya wanted to make sure that Dad knew that, thanks for checking in, you're still a piece of garbage. Our nephews Max and Sam were like our sons. Shay and Finn and my niece Jillian, he treated these kids like his own. He loved them fiercely and protectively and had the best time being goofy with them, but also teaching them about working hard. Max was the firstborn. You've already heard this story, but it's my favorite. Max was the firstborn, and Ben was determined to have his first words be Ben. So he would sit with him and literally repeat, like he said, over and over, and not just a couple times. We know Ben, if he was doing something, he was all in. So it was Ben, Ben, Ben. And it became Ben, Ben. Sam, our brilliant boy, was just voted most likely to succeed of his senior class at Oswego. No big deal, just 800 kids, you know. As Ben always said, we're still trying to figure out who his real parents are. Shay and Finn were his little rats. He loved FaceTiming them and making sure they were being good boys. My niece Jillian, as a baby and toddler, was terrified of Ben. Terrified. He's loud and big and fast. My brother-in-law is not. It would break his heart that she would react that way because, of course, he loves kids and wants nothing more than to be doing things with them. But he persisted, and she finally grew to know and love his energy. And after that, Ben was everything. Ben made lasting friendships through every stage of his life. Honestly, we were never somewhere in the United States where we didn't run into somebody he knew. And he gets that from his dad. These two know everyone, everywhere, and you can be at a crowded football game and he finds people. Not many can say that they have strong friendships still from grade school through high school and college, but Ben could. I can never hear enough about the Nettle Creek stories. I mean, National Honor Society and class president, I still think we need a recount there. Not that he wasn't smart and a great leader, but probably more the class clown. Scott and David, his buddies from Nettle Creek, please do not share any more basketball stats from the Nettle Creek days. Or be inside when you do, because a tree limb might fall on you, or you might get struck or something. He was not proud of those basketball stats. His great pride was playing for the Morris Redskin football team. Those years helped shape him, and those were the days when your coaches could be really tough on you, be very demanding, and teach you that there are no excuses. In fact, Morris Redskin football was so important to him. When we were dating in college, we came back to Morris for a weekend, and he said, we're going to the game Friday night. And I was like, we're going to the high school football game? Like where I'm from, you graduate high school and you move on, you don't go back. But that is what we did. We went to the Morris High School football game, and you know what? Everybody in town was there. There's a great pride in being a Morris Redskin football player, and it was very important to Ben. Ben went on to play football at Mankato State and had a tight group of buddies. His roommate, Scott Thompson, Teddy, we call him, and Scott Moses lived in an apartment right next to campus when I met him. The first time I went in there, I could not believe this was a dude's college apartment. It was clean. There was a crock pot with actual food cooking on the counter, and you could actually use the bathroom and it wasn't frightening. They called him Sarge. In the apartment, they all had a rotating chore list as coordinated by Ben. And I'm pretty sure there were consequences if the chores were not done. They paid him their share of the apartment bills, and he paid the bill. He kept an index card on his desk, and if you know Ben, he likes to have his notes, his notepads everywhere. If you see his desk, his car, he likes his notes. We want everyone to know we feel the outpouring love and support and prayers, and will continue to be grateful for them for a very long time. We lost the love of our lives, our rock, and our best friend. Our world and lives will never be the same. You don't have Ben Price in your life and not feel the gaping hole now that he is not here. But he would want and lived by was life is short and you have to be happy and do the things that you love. Take the risks and make the life memories. And maybe just for a little fun, when you're faced with a situation you might not know what to do, what would Ben Price do? It might be a little fun. If you need to stand up for yourself, what would Ben Price? Maybe they need the wrath. Sometimes, he would always say, sometimes people need that. If you need to get out of your comfort zone or learn to reach out for the less fortunate, that's what Ben would do. Ben is my soulmate, and that will never be past tense. We made a great team and could feel unstoppable together. We were tested many times over, and we were unbreakable. We loved the quote, "They tried to bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds." We dealt with life and the struggles and always tried to learn and grow from them. We always knew we could hold our heads high, even during the hard times, if we owned our mistakes and learned from them. We didn't care about what other people thought. We never lived our lives together believing that we could be perfect human beings. Flaws were normal and a chance to discover more about ourselves. Ben was the most caring and compassionate person. But let's be honest, there were times he could be a real, just insert your own word there, whatever, because of his feisty spirit. He could drive you nuts sometimes, but you always circled back knowing that he was the most incredible man, so passionate and caring. His emotions were big, all of them, whether they were good or not. That was our Ben, and I will defend his honor and the amazing man he was the rest of my life. Our sincerest thank you to Pastor Nate and Father Ed for putting together and helping us put together a program very fitting to Ben. And I know working with the Price family is not for the faint of heart. We are demanding and have high expectations, and you guys more than delivered. We thank you for being with us, for coming to our homes, to the visitation, praying with us and supporting us, and I know that you'll always be there. Ben's faith was incredibly important to him, and we were so happy to have found a church through Scott to start back coming to church and being a part of a faithful home. We will continue to be here and be involved, and it's very important to us. And no, I'm not moving. I got asked a lot last night. I'm not leaving. This is my home. This will forever be my home, and this is where we are. To my dear friend John Callahan, who was in this very church here when I called him Sunday morning, and I needed him, not just for his services that he provides. He's the coroner and also owns the funeral home, but because he's a great friend to me. John, you have gone above and beyond, and anyone who knows you knows that is what you do for everyone. But in difficult moments like these, you make it easier to breathe. We picked out an urn last night he didn't even have it there. I don't know how. He probably didn't sleep. He hasn't probably slept in days because he wanted this to be perfect for us. And he got the urn we wanted, and it's already engraved and here. That's my friend John Callahan. To all our dear friends that are like family to us, who came to our house running, they will not leave our sides, and we know this. We love you all and know you are with us every step of the way. We will have a celebration of life for Ben in the coming months, as he wished. We will get together and laugh and share stories. Maybe we'll have to have like a friends and family separate area, because some of the stories, just kidding. We love Ben and his stories, and he's touched a great many hearts very deeply. And I know you all worry about us, and I know it's not going to be an easy road, and its life is never going to be the same. But we're a strong team. Me and the kids, his family, we're strong, and we will miss him every day. But he would not wish us to not live in hope, and that's what he would wish for us. And I thank you for that, Father Ed, because to live in despair would be a great disservice to Ben Price. Live in hope and enjoy your life like he would want. But please take care of each other. I know there's a great many of you who will be feeling this loss very deeply with us. Please take care of yourselves. Seek help if you need to. Reach out to a friend. It is not easy. It's never going to be easy, but we're going to get through this together. Thank you.